So welcome back to the remix series of the track Around the World. Today we are going to do some mixing, like reverb and delay and compression, etc. And maybe if we got time for that, arrange the track. Now the last video accidentally just recorded in mono, so let's try not to today. Let's open up FL Studio and load up the project. Alright, the project has been loaded. So now I'm gonna play what we ended up with last time out. And make sure it is in stereo, and it is. That's what we ended up with. Someone in the comments actually said that the chords are not right. So let's look at the chords. They say the first chord, which is major right now, should be minor. So let's try that and put the C sharp one down to make it minor. Like that. And let's listen to it. I'm not sure actually. Alright, I think major sounds better actually. I'm gonna keep it at major because it sounds better in my opinion. So sorry for anyone who doesn't like it, but I actually think it sounds better. So I'm going to keep it like this. So let's put them back up. Alright, let's listen to it, to the bass first. Now I think the bass has too much highs in it. So let's add a low pass filter on it. Now, if you listen closely, you hear a little tick at the end. To fix that, just pull the release up a bit. Right. Maybe turn the volume of the bass up a little bit. Right, cool. Now let's see what happens here. Now let's add a little bit of reverb to it. I still use Fruity Reverb because I think it works fine. Now the low cut, we obviously already have a low cut right here, but I always turn the low cut up to around there, maybe a bit less. And I always put the high cut like 15 kilohertz. Because at the end we're going to get a EQ on it, on the master, which cuts everything off at 15 kilohertz. Because after 15 kilohertz they are just frequencies that you don't really need and they fill up the mix. So if you cut them away, you have got more dB to play with. Now turn the room size up, color to warmer. I suggest you figure out your own reverb preset that you like. I always do the same thing with reverb because I like the way this reverb sounds right now. So let's listen to it, just the leads. Right, I really like the sound of that reverb. Now let's add some compression. Let's try that with the Fruity limiter. I mean, why not? So let's go to the compressor tab. Now we basically got two important knobs here, threshold and the ratio. Now I'm going to explain a little bit what it does. The threshold is the decibel level that you want the compression to start working, basically. So if let's listen to the leads. Can we zoom this in a little somehow? No, I don't think so. No, we can't zoom in. But let's turn the reverb off. When do we want the compression to start? Basically always when the leads are playing. So let's drop it down to right here. So every time the lead plays, the compression will be activated. And with the ratio, you determine how much the compression does. So right now it's at 1:1. So that means for every 1 decibel that gets through the compressor, 1 decibel is returned back. Now if you turn this up to 2:1, that means for every 2 decibel that comes in, 1 decibel will return, which means that the volume of the end result will be lower. Let's do it extreme and let's turn it all the way up to 20:1. The volume will be pretty low. Now I put the threshold a bit more down because it didn't catch the lead properly. But let's listen to it now when it's at 20:1 and the threshold at -28. Now you see the compression working here a little bit. So every time it dips, it means the compression is active. But we still need to put the threshold a bit more down. So let's do that, like that. As you can see, the compression now works. It lowers the volume when the leads are playing, which is what we want, and then it raises back up with the volume. So imagine you have a reverb in here. The reverb will get louder when the notes are not playing, and it will decrease in volume when the leads are playing. And that's what you want with compression. So let's turn the reverb on again and listen to what it sounds like. You hear that kind of sucking effect? So you play the lead and then you pause it, and then the reverb just kind of goes back up. Let's increase the release so you can hear it better. So that's what we want. We don't want to hear the same volume of reverb every time, because you will drown your leads with it. Right, so let's do it less extreme. Now, obviously, as I said, the volume drops, so we need to return it to the level which it was before we applied the compression, and we do that using the gain. So let's turn this off and see what the level of decibels are. So it's touching -15. So let's correct this. All right, now with the attack, you can actually determine how quickly the compression activates when the threshold is met. So right now it's at 0 milliseconds, which means basically immediately. Now if you turn this up to extreme again, 100 milliseconds, it will take 100 milliseconds for the compression to start. So that means you basically got this for 100 milliseconds, and then the compression applies. So sometimes you have like those spikes of volume in your leads when the first note is actually louder than the rest of the notes. That's probably because of the attack. So you should turn the attack down then, and you won't have that problem anymore. Alright, I like this. Maybe the leads can be a bit more stereo. Now let's add some delay. So use Fruity Delay 3, set the time to 4. That will mean that it's like on the beat. And the level of feedback a bit longer, so the delay will be active a bit longer. And that will sound like this. Alright, lead 1. Now keep in mind, this is also influenced by the compression. So we have to maybe drop this a bit down. And the wetness. Now we can also do a ping pong effect, and ping pong means that you can actually pan it left and right. So let's set it to ping pong and set the pan to left or right. I basically always use that. Now, because this is also compressed, you won't really hear the delay when the melody is playing. So let's listen to that. So you mostly hear it when there's nothing playing. And that's good, because we don't want the leads to get messed up. So let's turn the compression off. And let's hear what it sounds like without compression. Doesn't sound that bad, but let's turn it on and see the difference. It just sounds a bit more powerful. So yeah, you can basically do this with any compressor or whatnot. Get small, thank you. Yeah, so that's for the leads. Now the chords, let's do the same for them. I also want to put this EQ down, because when you listen to the delay, right, let's put the EQ down, so below the compressor. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think that the EQ will be influenced by the compressor. Like when the melody is playing, the reverb ducks and the delay ducks. So maybe the compressor works less too. So I always put it underneath the compressor, just to make sure that there are no low frequencies after all the effects. So let's do the same for the chords. Let's turn this EQ down. Let's add some reverb to them. Same settings as before, kind of the same, a bit more stereo. Now with chords I don't really use delay, so just for the leads. And let's add the fruity limiter again, and let's just play it. Something like that. Now let's turn them both on and see what it sounds like with the reverb and delay. Doesn't sound bad, right? Alright, so now that's out of the way. Let's go to the playlist. And well, maybe we can add some plugs. Let's insert a silent one. Go to my bank. How about plugs 2? Let's set it to the mixer. And let's add those. Alright, let's rename it. Plugs. And this one too. Plugs. Alright, let's make him in, let's put them into a separate pattern. Alright. Let's add a clap. I like clap 5. So let's turn the clicking mode to generic. Because sometimes after you play the sample, you hear a little click, just like you had with the bass, and this will prevent that. So let's set it to a mixer track. Alright, I like it. Now let's add some more samples. And I'll be back in a second when I did that. Alright, so this is what we have for now. Basically what I did is I added a little bit of high ends to the leads and the chords to make it a bit more bright. I added some samples, so an impact, some crashes, some hi-hats, some claps, some sweeps, you know, just to fill the whole thing up. Sweeps, etc. are pretty important to fill up your mix. So don't forget them. Well, let's listen to what we have now. Alright, so that's what we have for now. Maybe we can make the leads a bit more punchy. So let's try that. Alright, so now we've set this one to the left, which will make it, well, let's set it extreme and let you listen to it. That's what it does. Now if we put it to the other end, like this. Again, that's very extreme, but if we turn this down and turn this down, we can make it a bit more punchy. And if we do that for all leads, alright, so we did it for all leads. Let's see if it sounds different. It sounds more punchy, but some are a bit too much. So let's find out which ones they are. Alright, sounds good. So you need to give your ears some rest. I will do that now. I don't know how long I've recorded, but let me see, how long am I recording right now? Can I see that somewhere? 52 minutes. So for me, it's time to take a break right now. And by that, it's the end of this video. I don't know how long the edit will be, but it will probably be a bit shorter. So yeah, let's listen to the final result. Here we go. Right. So I hope you like this video. If you do, well, like it. And I'll see you again in the next part. And well, we'll see what we are going to do. I'm not sure yet, but we'll find out, obviously. Thank you for watching, and I see you later.